called Helen Fisher, Te Tangi a Te Matui, and you can find it on the website. And there's a beautiful recording of Hannah Darrick, my former student, playing it on YouTube that you can find for sure. So if you like it, and it's fun to wake up a part of your instrument that you didn't know you had. And I think singing is really good for flute playing. So you have to also gets you to be very brave in your singing. And this was like a lovely group to play in front of. I didn't feel nearly as nervous as the last time I played this a few weeks ago. So thank you for being part of my process here. And I'm excited to hear Gaubert and C.P.E. Bach. So Zoe, come take it away. coming back to you, but you clearly are incredibly well prepared, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I really appreciate so many things about this. Did you say you're with Judy in your undergraduate? Okay, great. So Judy is a really good friend of mine, and she's such a beautiful, careful, thorough teacher. So at this point, you've had many, many lessons with her, and that is so evident, the care that she's taken with you in this piece and in your overall flute playing to really refine you to an incredibly high level. So I just want us to recognize that, and all the hours that you've spent really working on controlling your instrument and controlling your beautiful flute playing. As we get close to the end of the degree, one of the things that happens is it should feel like, as we're drawing to a close, that we have all of the tools at our disposal and that there's this elegant sort of display of everything that's happened. But oftentimes what I see is kind of a disconnect, or what I will call the confetti stage, where everything feels a little bit in pieces. And the job at this point is to put it all back together so that you can be on full display. And so I just think there's a few little bits of polishing that we could do right now, easy peasy, just knock it out, that would just sort of catapult you to the next level so that you can show everything you've been doing. The easiest thing to talk about is in the second part, the pinky. Oh. And this is so annoying. I was just thinking about flutes. They're so weird, aren't they? Like we have this the body of the instrument that really gets all nine of the keys. We get to use 9 keys on the body, and then we have this appendage, which just is responsible for one finger. And how many notes do we play on this? I mean, if you count the roller and play the gizmo and all that kind of stuff, there's all these things that this one little digit has to do. And I think part of the reason maybe flute players should do this is to fuse it so that it doesn't feel like it's an extension. I think it's just part of your body. It's just one little, is your pinky really small? Mine's really small. Yes, we both have tiny little pinkies.
Was it like really straight up?
It sometimes gets a little double jointed in there. Does that happen to some of you guys? But I think it just has a little bit of a complex in it. So I was wondering if we could work on that. Maybe just the first little bit. So everybody, non-flute players here, stare directly into Zoe's pinky here. And we're going to see if we can unpack this just a little bit. Your technique is sparkling and clean and effervescent, and so you and Judy have talked about not locking into the pinky. So even just that little reminder sometimes can be an enormous thing. The other thing that I find that sometimes happens to people is as they descend from that high G to the low C, it's as though you're visiting another country. Can you imagine that the C is really just part of your body? Than you think. And the other thing is, as you descend to the C, bring your flute up for a second, I want to see if you could avoid dropping into the C, so just kind of keeping it there. That's easier, right? So it's just like a neighbor, like going over to your best friend's house. That's all you're doing. You're just like, have a cup of tea over there. Everything else is kind of saying, well, it's a really good cup of tea, or maybe it's like a Girl Scout cookie or something. But if there's one thing that you could take home from today's class is just that we have a natural tendency to drop when we go to the foot joint, because it's a separate thing. It even gets its own little cute case, spot in the case, right? So that's one thing that can help. And it sounds really, really good. I just want to encourage you to keep it up. And it's even more luscious cautious there on the low E flat. Great, all right, so that's that one little thing. In the first page, I had just some small ideas. I want to work on tapers, vibrato, and articulation.
Okay.
So in this section, I wonder if you could just more clearly articulate. This is actually a really nice space to play in. It has some beautiful, even the practice room sounds like, oh, I guess you wanted that, right? You wanted a good acoustic. That was part of the ask of the real estate. Okay, so more clarity of articulation here, please. Speaking, that the clarity of the articulation has to be fairly sparkling in order for us to understand it. If I stop talking with clarity there, you just are like, what is she saying, right? So yes, we want to be incredibly lyrical in this section, but I'm wondering, if it could be lyrical and beautiful sound and clearly articulated from the G. So it's a small change, and that's what I meant by the confetti stage. It's not like we're redoing anything. We're not going to, change the articulation placement or anything like that at this stage of the game, but just making sure that you're really doing all those things. And this is something that you've been hearing your whole life, I'm sure. Clarity of articulation is really, really important, right? So especially when you've got two of the same notes. So. Let's do this phrase and be looking still more for articulation, and especially here at the end. And I'm just going to go back to make sure it's carried. Of the fingers and the tongue is exactly where you want it. Now sometimes you're anticipating it, so it's rushing. Feel like a big change from the first time to the second time? Just a really small change, like just like one click of focus. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What's the most important thing that you want the audience to feel when you're done playing this opening section? What's your big hope and dream here?
I want them to feel like they experienced a whole range of emotions. I think that this part, you guys can't, the Flute is a little bit happy and exciting, but the part before it is a little bit more longing and vulnerable. And at the end, I feel like it's kind of like a question. It's not a real sense of resolution.
So you're talking about storytelling here. And what an amazing thing we get to do as flute players is to give your audience a whole range of emotions. I mean, that doesn't happen in a TikTok video. You just get one thing usually, right? And only for 12 seconds or something like that. The range that's able to be on display is incredibly important. It's such a cool part about our jobs. Mm-hmm. This is what we get to do, with our days, is figure out how to most be impactful to our audiences in a short amount of time. And I think you can do that. One of the things that keeps me sometimes from feeling those big range of emotions is when you make a mistake, you stop. And I bet this has already gotten so much better. So again, this is sort of the frosting stage. This is the final polishing stage. and you probably are better when there's a pianist here, right? Right.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing to remember that you don't, when you go back, half the audience wouldn't even necessarily know that you needed to go back and correct yourself. So that's just one of those polishing things that I think you can work on. Okay, vibrato and tapers are two other things that I want to work on. And I think that you could, in general, vibrate a little bit more bravely, but with one or two more waves in the amplitude would really make a huge difference. So yeah, let's go from the second phrase here on the G's and see if in some of these longer notes we can get more wiggles into our vibrato. Great, beautiful. It's a really luscious sound that you're making. Feeling pretty good about it?
Yeah.
Nice. Some of the little connecting places where you pull me out of your beautiful sound there. So right before you move to the fast notes, you get a little tense. And those are the moments, believe it or not, when you want to squeeze and get all into your turtle shell, when you have to be like, nope, I shall step into the light and whatever happens, happens. Too. What a difference that makes, right? Do you hear the difference? And she pretty much has the whole thing from memory anyway. You can kind of tell. And I'm not advocating. I'm not going to take the stand away or anything like that because I like the security, especially in a class. But what a difference that makes to get out of the stand that way. Okay. Really, really nice. And then what about some of these tapers? So if we put it all together, this is the quintessential one, right?
The A flat.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go from the beginning then. Right. Good. I have a couple again, just like little detail ideas that I think could help you feel more confident the next time. It is just like a jury piece or an everything piece. Yeah, it is a good everything piece. Summer festivals, auditions, that kind of stuff. I wonder if you could think about the space right before you start playing as an opportunity to come into your body, let your shoulders come down a little bit, and then invite the breath. And really the breath is the beginning of the performance, right? The breath is the most crucial thing. It's really the bow in string land. And sometimes what I feel that happens to you, Zoe, is that you're all excited to play, and then you just sort of, I'm not quite there yet. I haven't, the stage hasn't been set. I just saw Don Giovanni last night at the Metropolitan Opera. Talk about setting the stage, right? I mean, every single thing they do is just about the drama and the lighting and the fog machine and the blah, blah, blah. So give me a little bit more of that, and at the same time make shoulders down. So. Then I'm going to be with you on your storytelling adventure. So wait longer once I finish talking before you start playing.
Okay.
To your practice routine, if you have this sort of praying to the God moment every time you start playing, that's okay. That's okay. All right, now just a little nitty gritty. Is it okay if I come over on the other side and just put a hand right here to see if we can keep this shoulder from coming up? Okay. So do do the same thing, a little bit of space, and then I'm just going to get peaceful, relax. To come up a little bit. It's like we think that this is going to help and it doesn't. Last little detail, when you go to play an E, which by the way is a physics nightmare, right? So the tube is closed, closed, open, closed, closed, open, open. No wonder it's hard to play the high E or the F sharp. Give me a break, right? So try not to slam the fingers down. So instead, and it sounds better too. I don't know. Somebody actually one of my kids is really into physics. I'm like, so why is that? You know, I imagine that it's living, that it has a resonance quality to it. Somebody, probably a maker, could tell us why. And especially the other thing is that with flat fingers, I think it doesn't sound as good. So I try to get the fleshiest part of your fingers into the hole. You know, really can make a huge difference. Okay, we are putting it all together. Just the first 13 bars. Give us a little feedback. I know there was a lot of talking that I was doing over you, so it messed some of the magical storytelling up, but what did you notice?
Well, I noticed that it was easier for the high E. I didn't have to fight against it. Mm-hmm. I thought that this low A was a lot more magical. Mm-hmm. I think I did the opposite of what you told me to do at the G. Mm-hmm. And then also at the next G, because my articulation didn't quite match up.
Okay, so articulation not quite as good.
Yeah. But
fingers better. Low register, I think, was a lot better.
Yeah, and I tried to keep my head up because I kept wanting to put it down.
Okay. I think whatever happens in the motion in the body, there is no one golden position for sure. Yeah. But I think we would say that was a more successful version that way. And so some of it is just knowing some of your tendencies. Yeah. There was that one little start over, which is, and I don't say this to shame you, I say this to say next time, see if you can notice that split second before it happens. Yeah. Be like, I'm gonna quick get off the road, but what if I just keep going? What would that be like? There's this whole rich interior storytelling that we say to ourselves while we're playing, right? I mean, yes, there's focus, but in the end, our brains are really doing a lot of thinking. So just noticing, wasn't what I wanted, but I'm going to keep on going. So beautiful. Thank you so much. something you can really sink your teeth into, right?
Yeah.
My favorite part, hands down, was can you play this part for us? Good. So there's 3 times in a row, kind of shock, right? Ta-da! Even let's do it again, and let's admire the naturalness in the body with the gesture.
Okay.
Doesn't that make sense? And oftentimes in music, things happen 3 times in a row. I'm wondering actually about that breath. I bet you don't need it.
Okay.
It's like you take a breath right before the 3rd time and it it's fine, right?
Yeah.
Good. So just a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm a big proponent of marking in your breaths. Like, I actually call them the CJ rules now. After 20 years of teaching, I have a couple of things that are really important. Marking in your breaths, especially because everyone plays on iPads now. A lot of people do. It's easy to erase them, and that way you can clean stuff up from breath to breath, right? Feel free to change it, but that way you're accountable for what's on the page between the breath and the breath, right? Okay, so because that was so good, we want to make everything else just as great about this. So what do you love about this? What's unusual about this piece of music?
Well, I was like putting it back together for this masterclass,
Yes.
and I was thinking about like, okay, everyone thinks that Baroque music is like so sterile and that nothing's really going on, but like for me, it's kind of like Beethoven has like this rep that he always switches up the like dynamics really wildly, and I think that you can do the same with this, just because the like harmonic progression just leads you.
It's
better.
wild,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Great.
So.
Yeah, Baroque music is not boring. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. And this is a piece that really breaks all the rules and really has kind of a rebel attitude.
Yeah, totally.
For sure, right? Okay, good. So we want to do all that stuff, and every time there's something really juicy or controversial happening in the music, I can tell you love it, and you just bleed into that a little bit more. Some of the transitions aren't working as well, and one of the places that I'm not totally convinced about is the beginning. One of my roads in to the musical storytelling element has to do with meter and gesture. This is a weird meter, right? 3/8. Would you go with me on a 6/8 adventure, or just like a little bit of a detour too? So I'm actually doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop my toes now, and then 6, 1.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you play and I'll dance with you. I won't play.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's really bend the knees on one.
So you want me to do it as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, got it.
That's already works better, right? Isn't that kind of a miracle thing? Yes, you're like, wow. This next bar is different. There we do have a 3/8, right? Wanna try that? I know it's slightly different than how you did it. Stick taps. Good, right? Does that feel
Yeah.
all right? When you get to the boring part, that's where you sort of fell apart just ever so slightly. Just simple 16th notes. Yes. In order for there to be wild, there has to be plain, right? And a low E. feels a little bit too important to me right now. So. Just sort of like backstory, because we had this crazy wild thing happen at the beginning, and then, not to give everything away, but something incredibly weird is getting ready to happen harmonically here. So just let this be a little simpler. This is one of my kids that, like, the difference between his generation and my generation is that his generation is more into subtle. And I was like, okay, so let's try being subtle right here. I don't even know what that means, but it's fun. We're thinking about it a lot. Beautiful curves in your fingers, but sometimes, especially as you're descending, a tendency to slam things down. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
It's not going to be louder if you ruin your paths,
Yeah.
Right? Okay, good.
No, it's like you hear it more from your technicians than your actual teachers that you're like pressing down too hard. Yeah.
And from your flute teacher.
Well, yes, but.
And also, I always think of like recording, because everyone's doing so much recording we don't want to hear. Natalie will agree. This is a big thing we worked on, right? All right, good. All right, so let's go from the wild, shocking place again. And instead of let the shock be about the fingers, let's go about the harmony and the dynamics, which are totally bizarre. Okay, keep going. Okay, good. And then I just want to address this a little bit. I think that the shock and the intensity of this movement comes not from rubato, but from the harmony, from the dynamics, the articulation, and the colors. So I would urge you, because you were already really good at it, to keep some sort of an inner pulse. Do you want to try that? That could be your like. Here, so start over here.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So the idea is, and we'll just do it without playing. I'm just come out a little bit so you don't hear from here. So is that we'll do ba ba ta da 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 step.
Okay.
Okay. He's like, yes. Let's just do this to get it over with. You're doing great. Okay, good. So a little preparation. So as you get ready to step, maybe bend your knees. Think about where the foot's going, right? Awesome. Really, really good job, right? Do it again. Make sure that when you're on the downbeat, that's when your foot is moving.
Okay.
Ba ba pom, because it was a little early.
Back to marching band.
But it's kind of not, right? Like, you would get in trouble if you marched like this, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So I would say, it's not that you can't take time, that you can't have rubato, but it has to be within your body. So if I really wanted to do, where is this, by the way, the music? I really can do anything I want as long as I'm making it apparent within my body. It's really embodied. If we think of something like the notorious Partita, right, written by his dad, who where there's absolutely no place to take a breath. And what do you do about rubato, right? I would say it's the same thing in terms of take a breath when you need to. This is why it's not marching band. Because when you need to take a breath, you just make the step bigger, right? Okay, beautiful. Let's keep going. Let's go on a little bit more from here. Remember, you're doing this in one breath. Third time. Easy fingers. One. Marvelous note this is on the instrument. Actually, in the Bach cantatas that we're doing with Sonata, there's a whole bunch of high F sharps. Can you imagine how hard that was to play on a Baroque flute? We think we have it hard. Blow to the end of the tube. Okay, beautiful. This is really good. What I wanted to do with you was can you put this down one octave just to feel how awesome that's going to feel in your body? Yeah, and you've got the ability to do it. I think we all have a little cello envy in our lives, right? Try to let that C feel like an open string on the cello. D, C, and just play E, D, D, C. Yeah, and just like we were doing with Zoe. This is part of the flute. Good. And you play those notes and I play everything else. You right? Even there? Okay, good. I think you could make a case for putting that down, maybe not the B. Okay, do the whole thing and we'll go on. I know we're almost done. Now bend the knees. Lift and tip toes. Tip toes. Beautiful. Lift. Good. And the last thing is, why not add an extension? Where are you? Just to try it once. I'm not advocating doing this finger on your graduate recitals or anything like that. But so these notes will be off an octave, like so. We just continue.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of awesome.
Okay.
Do you? Good. And I'm just curious, do you guys notice any difference when with the knee bending with emotion in there? Because to me, it like allows everything to speak. Anyone else? Yeah, I think it really sounds quite a bit different for me. So I'm an advocate of bringing some of these things out a little bit more. And we actually do at the Panoramic Flutist, which is a summer festival that I do for flutists, we choreograph famous flute pieces. So we did Alison Luggins Hall, Homeland, we've done The Gone, we've done the Huge Fantasy. Last summer, 2 summers ago, we did the whole Griffiths poem. We did the entire Griffiths poem, and there were like magical creatures in it. There was a firebird and Tinkerbell and a hobbit dance. And this is not just to make light of any of it, but to actually bring forth the character and the innate musical gesture of the piece. Because in the end, not that you'd stand up necessarily with the costumes and the lighting and all that kind of stuff and do it, but the experience of putting that in your body makes you a vessel for being able to clearly show the piece to the audience in a much more definitive way. And so I think it's really, really important. And it's fun.
Yeah.
So if you can combine things that make you sound better and are fun, an element of play, that's where my sweet spot is as a teacher. And I tried to just have a little of that today for both of you. And I think you both ended up sounding better, so I feel like my work is done. Thank you so much.